both the Barnburner and ZingoTV apps in the respective app store on iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. Both apps are free.
ZingoTV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and Fire TV Sticks, Roku and Roku Sticks, also on all smart TVs 2016 forward. So I am Warren J., the other host of Controlled Chaos, the show where anything can happen within reason. So let's talk about our weeks. Tamara, what's life been like for you?
I mean, I've been super slammed all week. It is the holiday season. It's also the Hanukkah season. As a Jamaican Jew, which you know I am, I have got to I've got to celebrate. I have to celebrate both. I'm celebrating Christmas and I'm celebrating Hanukkah because like I get to do all of that. But it's different on Zoom, so I've never been on more Zoom calls in my life. Everyone wants to get in touch, and I'm like, I don't need this in my life right now. But yeah, so I feel like I own shares in Zoom at this point. I'm always on Zoom 24/7, like, oh, I miss you too. Oh, I miss you too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh no, you didn't have to send anything in the mail. Oh, like, wow. Oh, another gift card. Stop it. I've always loved you. You're my favorite aunt. No, you're my favorite aunt. No, you're my favorite uncle. But because you don't touch me, things like that.
Yeah. I feel like if Soulja Boy were still around during this time, he would put out a track called Kiss Me Through My Zoom. Remember that song he did? Kiss Me Through My Phone?
What was his name? Sammy?
Soulja Boy. He put out a song called Kiss Me Through the Phone. Kiss me through the phone. Yeah. Kiss me through my Zoom.
Tell me later on.
But now I don't know. He might still go by Soulja Boy. I'm not sure if he's still putting out music. But anyway, a little bit of a one-hit wonder that guy was.
What was it, Superman? Yeah.
Superman, that's the one. Yeah. Anyways, it's been a bananas week for me, man. I've been just like watching a lot of TV. Dude, there's this show on Netflix. I don't even know how to describe this, okay? Netflix like clearly knows their target audience. Like I'm high. I go to click Netflix and it's like Alien Worlds comes up, right? There's a show called Alien Worlds, and I'm like, all right, I'm on LSD. I definitely am going to watch this. So I click on it. Me and my girl are watching. This show, Tamara, is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's literally, so the premise is they study life on Earth in all these crazy environments, and then they like kind of extrapolate that logic and imagine what life would be like on other planets. So there's like a female David Attenborough, because David Attenborough is about to die. So now they got like this British woman who does like the David Attenborough narration of this whole show and everything like that. And they're showing all these scenes and they like, CGI alien planets and stuff like that. There's this thing where this guy on Earth who studies insects, I'm just gonna call this guy out because like this was not what they were trying to sell it to me as. You tell me what you think of this. This guy he's got a charming British accent, and I think that when you have a British accent, you can get away with a lot more stuff than if you just have a normal like talk like how I sound. like if I had a British accent, I could be way more of an asshole than I am, and people would like accept it. You know what I mean? So this guy's got this smooth British accent, and he just goes on and he's filming insects mating. Okay, and I'm like, all right, cool. But this is the thing. He's not doing it in the wild, like BBC Planet Earth, filming some ants having sex on a stick, on a tree in the jungle. This dude literally sets up scenes. It's like a terrarium inside a studio, and he has a camera, and he's filming insects mating on camera. And I'm like, dude, you're an insect pornographer. like this.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm like, this man's a bug pornographer. I'm like, I know what I'm watching here. They're not mating. Like if it's in the wild and you're
mating,
yeah, I'm like mating. Okay, sure. Like like bow chicka bow wow. Like it's one of those Beatles, the plumber. Like yeah, literally. Like if you're filming them in the wild and they're doing their thing naturally, and it's a scene, and you witness it with a camera, then you're a documentarian. If you're in a studio with a terrarium and you're setting up scenes with insects, putting them in there so they will have sexual intercourse, and then you're filming it, you're an insect pornographer.
So he just like gets off on watching animals get off.
Well, he pretends he doesn't get off, and he acts like he's, you know, he's like a scientist, right? Like, this is what I hate about this guy. I'm like, dude, I know what you are. I know what you're doing. Like, I know what this is. Like, don't pretend that you're doing like National Geographic type work, man. Like, you're like, this is a porn studio. You're watching bugs bang each other. You're setting up the sets. Like, did these Beatles sign consent forms? Like, are they Beatles of age? Like, I don't even know what the hell's going on in here. It's so weird and creepy. This dude's just, yeah, but smooth British accent. He's a doctor. He's got all these degrees. I'm like, you're an insect pornographer, sir, actually.
Okay, this is crazy. Okay, because here's the thing. I literally, this is so funny. This was not supposed to relate at all, but I got this necklace. I'm sorry, this is not a necklace, it's a bracelet. I got this bracelet from my boyfriend for my birthday, and it's like to save the elephants, okay? And I just like track the elephants and like see where my elephant is like moving around to, and this bracelet somehow is like, because it has like a little elephant on it, is helping like save the elephants, because that's the kind of person I am.
That's cool.
That is a cute way of studying animals.
Yeah.
What you're telling me right now is that this guy is like, oh, look at her. Wow, she really wants it. Oh, she's bending over. Oh, she's bending over. Oh, she's getting it rough. Like it's so weird.
Yeah. This one appears to enjoy having her antennas pulled. like, dude, I'm like just sitting there looking at it, and this guy's got a straight face. He's talking like with this like tea and crumpets accent. I mean, look at the history. Look at the history of the British. You look at some of the heinous stuff these people have done, but they talk like that, and you think tea and crumpets, right? But it's just like opium wars and all this craziness. This is the same type of thing, and he's doing it with insect pornography. He's in a studio. I'm like, no, dude, do a line of blow, put on a Hawaiian shirt, act the part. Like, you are not fooling anybody. I don't care if you have a degree, you're not a doctor, you're an insect pornographer. You are just filming bugs, having sex in a studio, and I want to report you to someone, but I don't know who to report you to.
You're like, hey, Netflix, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm watching animal porn. Wait, isn't there a word for that? What's the word for it?
Oh, animal porn, like interspecies.
No, that's
like
the word for when people.
Yeah, bestiality. No, that's the word for when
people.
Bestiality.
Yeah.
When humans and animals. Yeah. No, this is like animals and animals, but like, yeah, two insects, and then they're mating. He says, and then this is the other weird thing too, is like, there's all these clips they show on the alien planets, and it's like these CGI aliens, and they're talking about like how they might live their lives. They're just pontificating about these different life forms on these planets. They're showing them have all these weird alien sex, and they're like putting their tentacles in all of each other's holes and stuff like that. I'm like, what kind of filth are you trying to show me, Netflix? Like, this is just alien porn now? Like, I was so creeped out by the whole thing. It was so bizarre.
I'm sorry, what is this called? No, I'm joking.
It's called Alien Worlds, actually.
It's called Alien Worlds?
Yeah, it's like a BBC Planet Earth documentary on like DMT and acid. It's the most insane thing you've ever seen in your life. Like, I was just like watching it, I'm like, are they joking, or is this like a real thing? Because there's like serious scientists. Man, oh man, some of the stuff on there is just like banana salad. It's crazy.
I feel like I need to watch this, but I don't want to. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to verify your points, but I also don't want it to be real.
Honestly, yeah, it's like, it's brutal, man. Like, me and my girl could not stop laughing at this show. It was just everything that was on it was so weird and creepy and like, what? And there's a guy from Area 51 who works at Area 51, and he's like, it was the most insulting thing I've ever seen. Like, I was just like personally offended. It's like a PR piece for Area 51. He's like talking about like, yeah, you know, he's like, alien life forms, there's this many chances of life existing in the universe, but we haven't found anything yet. And like, I was like, I haven't found anything yet. I'm like, it's Area 51. Like, you don't ask the Area 51 spokesman if we found aliens. Like, look in the news. There's like literally the Pentagon has released alien things like that, you know, UFOs caught in the atmosphere and all this stuff. The Israeli ex-space chief is talking about aliens are real, and there's a base on Mars where humans and aliens are conducting research. And this guy, Area 51 guy, is like, hey, I worked there, you know, if something was going on, I would have seen it. I'm like, what kind of idiot?
No.
Yeah, I'm like, what kind of mouth breather do I have to be to actually eat this propaganda and like believe that this is what's going on at Area 51? It was just like, oh, the whole thing just like, I don't know how to feel about this show, but it was just like had me feeling all sorts of things.
Well, this year has been really the year of people being like, aliens are real. And I was like, yeah, I know. I watched the X-Files. And like everyone's just getting really paranoid. Elon Musk is like, what is Elon Musk doing? Like, I don't really get what he's doing. Like, he's such a troll, but he's so smart. And it's just like making me really upset. So I'm like, do something better with what you're doing here. It's like, yeah, we get it. You can go to space, but also you like say horrible things about gay people and say that non-binary is not real. So like, what is happening right now? Like, who are you?
I'll tell you right now, I'm calling Elon Musk out. This is a theory I've been going over for a while. I think Elon Musk is Batman, Tamara. When you think about it, Elon Musk, Batman's only superpower is white privilege. He's a white billionaire.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, he's a white billionaire.
I gotta save White City.
Exactly, yeah. He's a white billionaire who buys all this stuff. This is why, like, as a kid watching superhero movies, I'm like, look at Superman flying around, Spider-Man. I was like, I can't do that. I saw Batman on TV. I was like, shit, and like maybe I could be Batman one day, right? Like I'm like looking at this, I'm like, this is weirdly relatable, but like, yeah, dude, it's Elon Musk. I think he's Batman. Like he's got all the tools. He's got a space company. Like for sure, that man's got to have a Batcave, right? He's probably got. You know what? I bet you the white Morgan Freeman is his Lucius, who probably runs the you know, he's the secretary of Elon Musk's Batcave. But yeah, I'm calling you out, Elon Musk. We know you're Batman. Bruce Wayne was just a construct of Hollywood, but I think Elon Musk is the real Batman.
I wouldn't be surprised. But like, who is he saving though? Like, he's not saving. Who is he saving?
He's saving his money. Saving those dollars, Tamara.
I just picture him like alone and like in his own little cave, being like, I don't want to come out for this, but I have to do it for the stock market. Like, it's like I can't.
Yeah, pretty much. That's who Elon Musk has been saving.
Like, I can't deal with that. Honestly, like this is why I drink. Hearing things like this is why I drink. You just told me about animal pornography and Elon Musk, and like, well, I guess I brought that up, and aliens, and now I'm just like, this is why I drink wine. You know, okay, I did. I don't know. You don't really drink. You don't really drink that much, do you?
I drank a little bit last night. I have a whiskey every now and then. I tried the new Jameson coffee cold brew. Jameson's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. I had some of that last night.
What you just said is so much proof of how much you don't drink.
What? I mean,
I tried the Jameson coffee cold brew. I was like, oh, you're drinking for taste.
I know the sauce that I like. I drink Jameson's. There's a couple different flavors, but yeah, they got a cold brew one's pretty nice. But yeah, continue. I'll go ahead and liquor shame me.
No, I'm not liquor shaming you. I'm just realizing how much I do drink, and like, cause like you're like, have you tried the Jameson cold brew? And today I bought 46 liters of wine. So there's just like we're just in different areas.
I think so. Yeah.
I went to like this wine shack in the middle of nowhere, and I bought 23 liters of red wine and then 23 liters of white wine because the lockdown. Apparently, they're thinking of locking down all of Southern Ontario soon.
What?
Again, but don't worry, there's still gonna be like 94 essential services, like, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so like, you know, there's places that are in like the grade. I don't really get the stages. I really don't get the stages because it's like, no. Oh, we're in stage 1, stage 2, and then out of nowhere they all became colors, and I was like, sorry, what happened to the stages?
Yeah, I think this is like, yeah, confusion by design. I think I don't think people are supposed to understand what's going on right now.
Like, they're like, weird. This week we're level 1 or we're stage 1, but next week we're fuchsia. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I have no idea what's happening. I wake up, someone's gray, someone's red, someone's turquoise, someone's in stage 3, someone's just like living their life in Niagara. Some people are just in Brockville living it up, and then other people are just like, I haven't seen my mom in a year. Like, I don't really get how this is working. I get it's by like population, but like, it's just been insane. So I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna have to like die in my boyfriend's family's home, I better be drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. This is some helter-skelter shit going on right now. I don't know what's happening on this planet, but everything's just like completely dissolving. Like we're coming apart at the seams.
Well, like he's downstairs in the basement, like siphoning the wine, like literally like taking this hose and putting them all into bottles for me. And I'm like, yeah, perfect. He's like, this should last 2 weeks. Like, I don't have anything, like, I don't know. I really don't know what's going on anymore. All I do know is that if you're trying to get through this pandemic without wine, like, relax. Your therapist is doing too good of a job and doesn't love you really. Like, live on the wild side.
Yeah.
You don't need to feel your emotions that deep. I love the concept of therapy, but I do not love the concept of having to be your best self 24/7. Like for eyes that are watching. That's like, I'm gonna want to screw this up a bit once in a while for me, for my sanity.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like, you know what I mean? I'll save that like nice clean route of like my best self for when I'm pregnant. Like and that because men don't get pregnant, that's why they never have to go through that.
True. Yeah, like my therapist, I used to go to therapy once a week. Now I'm like once a month, and I don't even know if I'm going to continue going that once a month. Like things are just so awesome right now. Like I'm moving into a new place soon. Like I got a new girl. Like my whole life is just coming together. So like when I get down to sit down for therapy, it's like just like a progress report. It's almost like I'm sitting there bragging to my therapist about how awesome my life is. I'm like, why am I paying you to do this? Like,
yeah,
I can just do
have
this with one of my boys on the phone. Yeah.
And yeah, it's like I can just put this in a Facebook status. I actually don't need to talk to you anymore.
Yeah. At this point, it's feeling like I've hit diminishing returns on therapy, which is good because came out the other side of that one. I had some issues, and now the issues are gone. So,
well, I mean, I told you that I got fired from a therapist.
Your therapist fired you?
Have you ever been fired? Have you ever had a therapist fire you?
No.
They do it in a way, they only use synonyms and it's so backhanded, but it's like, I get what you mean. She said that she wanted to suggest me for another therapist that was more suited to my combative nature.
That's like the therapist version of, I think we should see other people.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That's a dear God letter.
Suited to your combative nature, because I was asking her, I was like, so why do I keep paying you $100 for not fixing my problems? A. And she kept trying to like root things back to things that didn't matter. She kept trying to make like a big deal of things that didn't matter. And she kept trying to convince me that they did matter. And I just didn't realize it yet. And I was like, yeah, that could make sense, except I'm me. So I know that doesn't matter to me. Like,
yeah. She's trying to psychoanalyze you too deep. Like she thinks she knows. Because that's the thing. A good therapist is just a listener, right? It's like having a fulfilling relationship with a friend who listens, and then you just, you pour out your problems and everything like that, and they hold a space for you, and that's that. Like if they don't give you advice necessarily, right? They just let you think of your own ideas. So like, yeah, it sounds like your therapist was a little more like, oh, I know what she needs, and I'm gonna try. And it sounds like you had a bad one. My
therapist is a little bit bad at her job, is what you meant to say. Like,
yeah, sounds like she was a quack.
Yeah,
quack.
I'm fine now, I guess. Who knows? Like, am I fine now? I don't really know. All I know is that I'm better off without her, so she can S my D.
Yeah. Forget that therapist.
Okay, I think it's time to move on to the next segment.
Topics from a hat.
And topics from a hat. Okay, so topics from a hat. Really excited. Except I haven't been able to go home because my roommate has COVID. So it's topics from a box right now.
Oh yeah, is that a box? It looks like a tuna can when you're waving it around. It's
I don't know how I got this box.
Oh, it's a round box.
It's an oval.
Was it a soap box?
No, I had watches in it.
Ooh.
And I haven't worn a watch in 10 years, but here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
Right? Go. I'm just like, okay. Here is our topic. Best wedding story.
Best wedding story. Ooh. Okay. You got one? I think I might have one.
Yeah, go for it. I have one, but you can go first because I know that mine is not great. Like in terms of like, I'm embarrassed to say it out loud.
Yeah, me too. Like it's a good wedding story in that it makes a good story for our audience, but it was not like my proudest moment at a wedding.
Me too. Oh no.
But I will admit it was a private embarrassment and no one would have known unless I had told them. But I told them because I love a good story. So this is how the story begins. I mentioned on the vacations we've ruined. You know, I went a destination wedding. My cousin got married in Dominican Republic. And 1 second here, I just gotta close the window. There's sirens going off. Jesus.
It's like they know you're telling the story. It's literally like they're like, oh wow, here we go. Let's stop
my God.
them.
Yeah, there's been a murder. Yeah, so anyway, destination wedding in Dominican Republic. It's my cousin's wedding. A whole bunch of young people were there. Everybody's getting trashed. Like I said, when I go to weddings, I'm a dance machine. I'm a Tasmanian devil on the dance floor. I don't leave the dance floor for like the whole night. I just rip it up in the pit. I'm unstoppable. I'm like the envy of everyone that wants to dance but doesn't dance. So that's what I was doing at that wedding. Yeah. It was just like a one-man dance party and just clearing my own space and just doing my thing. And do you know that song Rasputin by
Boney M? Of course I know that.
Yeah, Rasputin,
lover of the Russian. Yeah.
Okay. So that song comes up, and oh boy, how do I even say this? So that song comes up, and I'm dancing, you know, and it's great, right? Like I'm doing a pretty good job, and I'm doing that when that part starts. That's like, hey, I do the like, you know, and I'm kicking my legs. I got my arms folded. I'm kicking my legs, and I'm going lower and lower and lower, and kicking the legs higher and higher and higher, right? That Russian dance like that. So I kicked my leg so high, Tamara, and I was so drunk that I sharted down my leg right in the middle of the dance floor. Yes, a fountain of fecal water sprayed out of my ass into my black dress pants in this wedding in the middle of the dance floor. And then I, without even missing a beat, I didn't like, there was no tell, like I'm a solid poker player. My face didn't reveal anything. I just like casually just, hey, I kept the dance going too, all the way to the washroom. I run into the washroom. I just get in there. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, what just happened? I run in and like nobody else is there. I'm like, lock the door, like barricade myself in there, like take my pants off. I was wearing boxer shorts, and luckily the spill was contained within the boxer shorts. So I just like spend the next couple of minutes just frantically cleaning up inside this bathroom and like, just wiping myself everywhere. And I'm just like mortified. And I like hope nobody noticed any of this, right? Because like, I was the star, you know, I was killing it. And then all of a sudden I crap my pants. So, like, I'm in the bathroom cleaning up, and that's not really a pretty sight. And then I just take the underwear and I just like, oh man, I just chucked them. I threw them in the garbage. I folded up a bunch of toilet paper and put it on top of my soiled underwear and left it in the garbage. Put my dress pants back on, and then I just ran back out on the dance floor. Didn't like nothing had happened. Just get back out there, hey, and nobody knew. I was a crap ninja. I literally went like a turd ninja, Tamara. I crapped my pants in the middle of the dance floor of a crowded wedding. Nobody knew. And then I went back and continued to just steal the show, slayed for the entire night, and did not stop dancing until that wedding was over.
Oh my gosh. Like, yeah. I literally was like, oh, you're dancing at a wedding. And then it must have looked like I was frozen. My face literally just froze on like a full jaw drop. I was like,
I thought the Zoom chat froze for a second. I'm like, oh, we're losing Tamara. Like, your face was just like a statue for like the whole minute that I was describing it. I'm like, something happened to the feed.
I felt like I was reading like, you know, like an eloquently written novel. Like the way you like set me up for what was actually just going to be like a full poo adventure. Like I was not ready.
Yeah. It was a real shitastrophe, I would say that. But
so did anyone ever like book that you actually were like they had to go and wash your pants in the sink or whatever?
Nobody knew. Like it was the perfect crime. It was like I'm like the James Bond of shitting my pants at weddings. Nobody knew. I was like an assassin. Literally, nobody that night knew. It was not until like 2 days later, because it was a week-long vacation, right? The wedding was like in the middle, and then there was a couple more days. There was a day that I got really drunk in the pool, sunburned all my ears and my nose and stuff like that, my shoulders. And that was the day where I told everybody, I was like, hey, by the way, none of you guys knew this, but when I was doing that Rasputin dance in the middle of the wedding, I actually crapped in my pants, and and they got a good laugh out of it. But yeah, no, at the time, flawless. Not one single person, no one smelled it, no one heard it, no one saw it. I just, again, I'm like the James Bond of crapping my pants at weddings.
I literally, like, you've got me speechless. You know how hard that is to do?
It's a tough act to follow. I'm sorry.
Weddings are rough. I mean, my wedding story is pretty on par, which is in a different way.
All right, let's go.
So, oh boy, okay. I can't believe I'm telling this story out loud. A lot of people know about it already, so it's not that big of a deal. But I just hope certain people never hear it. Anyway, I was living in Alberta for 3 years. I was in like waters and lakes. I was working at the Prince of Wales Hotel. I was making like stupid money. But my best friend's sister was getting married, and we were like super close. Okay. And me and her whole family, like they're like my second family. So I'm like, I'm going to fly home for this wedding. So she's getting married to like the second guy she'd ever dated, which I was like, lucky, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know how many frogs I've had to kiss? Jesus. And so like I come back, I'm literally like flying back to Toronto. This wedding, oh man, I look at pictures of this wedding and I was like, I was looking so good back then. Also, I had a horrible makeup fashion sense or whatever, but I had this like really sick dress on that had like a buckle in the middle, and then I somehow found the exact matching colors of like the pattern and stripe at Winners and shoes. So I was like, I was looking like fire. Okay, but then I for some reason had turquoise waterproof eyeliner on, which was a bad choice. Anyway,
okay.
My hair is looking great. I'm looking great. Whatever. I go to this wedding. I'm 10 minutes late for the ceremony because I am Jamaican. And so, you know, we like, that's as on time as I'm getting.
As is tradition.
Yeah. I was like, it's your wedding, but I actually have a tradition to uphold.
Yeah. We're respecting traditions on this day.
But the thing is, it didn't even really matter because the whole ceremony was in Greek, and I was like, okay, hello. Like, if you've ever been to a Greek wedding, there's just like a priest going around with like I don't know what's coming out of the thing. It's like smoke. I'm butchering how this actually is. And if anyone's Greek and listening to this, I'm not trying to be insulting. I just don't know what was happening because it was in Greek. And so he was just like, or whatever. I don't know what he was saying. And then suddenly they kiss. I'm like, I guess they're married now. Like, I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah. So it's like kind of like a Jewish wedding, except that the guy just goes around, he blows smoke on everybody. They step on a piece of spanakopita, and then everyone says something Greek, and that consummates the marriage.
Honestly, I was just like, yay! Like, I have no idea what's going on. They at least go take pictures. I'm like, okay, cool. My parents go home because like, you're about to black out and I don't want to see it. Like, you are responsible for you. So I go to this wedding reception, and like we're all going around the circle doing our Greek dances that I've just learned, but yet still I'm like the star of the show because I'm like, I need everybody to know how great I look in this Greek dancing, and like I'm like being so extra. And how old am I then? 21. So I'm 21 years old at an open bar wedding for the first time in my life. Okay. Someone should have prepped me on what open bar weddings are like, because when I went, I started off with being like, here's a $20 tip. Anytime I'm at this bar, you'll serve me first. And he was like, yeah, 100%. And I was like, and once I feel like I've gotten like 10 drinks, I'll throw another 20 in. So I've tipped this bartender $40 to make sure I black out, which is like a great. It's like a great contingency plan, but it's also not a great contingency plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm planning for anything that could go wrong where I couldn't get my drinks fast enough, but I'm not planning for how I'm going to look after those drinks. So I start pounding drinks. I'm like bringing people up like I own the bar. I'm like, you want a shot of tequila? Like, we all get this deal. I'm like, you want a shot of tequila? Like, I'm literally acting like I'm doing everyone else a favor. Meanwhile, I'm getting everyone like blackout. And then my best friend's sister, who is the one who's now married, allegedly, because I didn't understand the whole ceremony. But she's married, and then I spot like my best friend, and I'm like, oh my God, hey. And then she introduces me to her cousin, and her cousin is so hot. I'm like, this guy's the hottest person. I start like flirting with this cousin. Everything's going well. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yo, he's like, do you want to get me, a drink? And I was like, yeah, because I had no self-respect back then. So I thought it was cool to buy drinks to the people that you were into, but I wasn't buying the drinks. I was at an open bar. So I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, but whatever. So I'm getting drinks for us. No big deal. Everything's good. We start pounding back these shots. He's like, let's get out of here. We leave the wedding temporarily. We go to a parking lot behind the like banquet hall, and then we start hooking up. I hook up with this guy. He rips my like dress open. Like, I can't really fix it. It's a dress that zips up from the back. And so I sleep with this guy on top of gravel in some parking lot like a rat. I know.
That sounds painful.
I was so hammered. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, whatever. And so I get back and I start like walking back in to the wedding, but I can't do my dress up. And I spot my girl and her husband now, but they were together for a long time then. And I was like, I need you to help me zip my dress up, because it was stuck. The zipper was actually stuck because the guy was trying to help me zip it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, hi, it's a dress. You didn't have to unzip it. Like, I know it looks like good for reaction and moments, but it's a dress. It's easy access. Like, why are we doing this? Why don't you start from the zipper? Now the zipper stuck. I have to go back to this wedding.
Oh my God.
And so I start zipping this up. And it's not working. I have to go into the bathroom with my friends. With my friend's boyfriend. He finally has to like almost break my dress. I still have the dress just because it's a good memory. And he finally zips me up. And I go back to the party. And then I find out the reason that he's not getting drinks from the bar is because he legally can't because of his age.
What? Uh-oh. What happened here?
We were like a few weeks off of like the 19 thing, but like he couldn't legally actually buy drinks. So he was like technically underage. I didn't find that out until after. So my best friend's like, what are you doing with my 18-year-old cousin? And I was like, you're what?
What am I doing, or what was I doing?
Currently, I'm doing nothing. So.
Yeah, currently he's over there, I'm over here, and everything's cool.
And then I look over at this guy, and he's projectile vomiting in the lobby of the banquet hall.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, man.
And I'm like, yo, I just got this guy so blackout because I thought he was like of age. Like, he's of age of consent, but he's not of age to drink. And clearly that's why he was asking me to be like, hey, you want to get us some drinks at the bar? So I guess the other people knew he was underage. And so I got duped and got my dress ripped.
Wow.
And now I can never be over at her house while that part of her family comes over. Because I feel like they know, because he was like pointing at me on the way out as they were dragging him out. They're like, how did you get hammered? Why are you drunk? And he's like, no. And I was like, oh, put your hand down.
He threw you under the bus? Really? You gave him a piece and he threw you under the bus?
He threw me under the bus because he's underage. He's a young, being an 18-year-old boy is like still being in diapers. Like, it's
like an 18-year-old boy, I didn't snitch. I knew not to snitch at 18. I wouldn't have done that. That's horrible. What a terrible
Yeah, but
child.
like,
Not a lot of character
like,
on that man.
right? So for him, it's like snitches get bitches, basically. Like he basically got, but anyway, I'm glad I flew home for that.
Yeah. So the big fat Greek wedding story.
I
Jesus
forgot that
God.
movie existed.
Oh yeah. Wow. That's like, it's the total polar opposite. Cause like I really catastrophized myself at a wedding, but I did it so under the radar that no one knew until I told them. And I only told them because I knew that everyone would appreciate the story. I didn't want to say it after it happened and ruin, like make the wedding all weird. Like it was like an assassination happened at an embassy party and no one knew until like the morning after the janitor found this guy dead in the closet. But like, yeah, this one was like a jewel heist gone wrong. And everybody knew that some weird shenanigans had happened.
Projectile vomiting, like his eyes were like rolling back. I was like, this is an actual nightmare.
Oh my God, poor kid. I mean, I say poor kid, but not really. He got lucky. He scored with an older chick. Like, yeah, he had a decent night, but then just couldn't hold his liquor. But I guess that's the thing. Age of consent, he was old enough to have sex, but not old enough to drink, so that's why he puked. It's like he did the one thing, okay, but you gotta wait until you get your drinking license, and then you can put them away like the big boys,
right?
Yeah.
So that's my best wedding story. I haven't lived it down to this day. I just like flew back to Alberta and like had to tell people about it, and they're like, dude, what? Like it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so that's it for topics from a hat. We both should not be invited to weddings ever. I'm scared of my own wedding.
Oh, dude, I'm terrified. Yeah, I mean, like, hey, remember I was engaged? Like, yeah.
Oh,
I did not know how my wedding was gonna go at all. I'm like, oh, thank God, that was a nightmare waiting to happen. Yeah, weddings, they're scary, guys. I mean, I'm kind of glad COVID's canceling weddings. I'm just not gonna have. Maybe I just want to have a wedding. I'll elope, go to City Hall, step on a champagne glass under a napkin, pay $500, call it a day. Mazel tov.
Is that how much it costs to get married at City Hall? $500?
I think so. It's not a lot. You just got to pay for the certificate, basically. You don't have to get like some city clerk to bring some holy water in and do some something. There's
like that sounds great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty much. It's just the bureaucratic part of it. There's none of the none of the there's no covenant taking place. There's just a legally binding contract. It's a real sign on the dotted line type of thing. It's an executive wedding.
Yeah, you ruined the way it sounded for me at the end.
Yeah, I just I like to
legally binding
de-whimsify things.
He said legally binding contract. I was like, I don't know her. I don't know. I don't.
Yes, no. Yes. Unfortunately, cannot be null and void. But anyway, weddings. That's a good time. Should we get rolling on to our next segment here?
Let's move on to the next segment. We're gonna move on to whose headline is it anyway?
Yes, funny news stories. So awesome. Let's go through that. Do you want to start or do you want me to start? I got some good ones here.
You start for this one.
Okay, so here's one. Texas student dons hazmat suit to take in-person exams. Like there's a picture. Yeah. To take in-person exams, a Texas student donned a full hazmat suit. Like he was watching, like Breaking Bad when Walter and Jesse are cooking meth. It's like one of those things. And this kid wore it to do his exams. It says, a Texas high school student arrived to take his final exams in a hazmat suit after his family said the district isn't doing enough to protect students and families from COVID-19. This kid's really being careful. His parents definitely gave him the talk about having to he wore a condom. His parents didn't even ask him if he was going to wear a condom. He's like, oh, I'll wear a condom, guys. Yeah, wore a hazmat suit to take his exam. Houston teenager Mason Calcafin showed up to Springwoods High School's campus in a full suit of personal protective gear after the school district mandated that virtual learners take their final exams on the school's campus. I'm having to go in a hazmat suit, he told KTRK TV. That way I can protect that way I can protect my family, he says. So he wants to protect he wants to protect his family. And yeah, his mother, Margarita, said she is at high risk of serious complications if she contracts COVID-19. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to end up in a hospital. I don't want my husband to end up in the hospital because the school district doesn't care. It doesn't say if she's like vulnerable health-wise or she's just like a hypochondriac, doesn't want to get COVID. Like, I understand not wanting to get COVID, but I wonder if the mom has any sort of condition, like if she's diabetic or something, or if this kid's just like really, just drinking all the Kool-Aid and wants to be extra careful. But anyway, so that was that. This kid wore a hazmat suit to take his final exams. Welcome to 2020. This is the world we live in.
Here's the thing, though, with the States. People still have to go into exams, and take, I've never seen anyone handle COVID worse. And they're like, come write your exam. It's like, I think we should just treat this like the war, where this is just as dumb as we're going to be for the rest of our lives. Like, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
I don't understand. It's like, what do you need to learn so badly for, in person, in school, in the United States, when they have millions of cases? What's so important? You guys aren't getting over COVID for a while. This guy doesn't need to go in person to go and do this exam on why?
It's insane. It's like, you know what? This is the funny thing. It's like, we were okay with doing mail-in ballots, but you can't do an online exam because, sorry kids, we don't need to rig your exam scores. That's I guess that was they just decided that the kids had to go in person, and so they did that. Suddenly
they're so serious about exams and making sure every kid's doing things right, when it's last year 80 celebrities just bought their kids onto the rowing team in some random university and pretended everything was good, and they were dumb as rocks and making makeup tutorial videos. And now that they've been exposed, everyone has to write their exams. Go talk to Lori Loughlin, who's doing 6 months in prison. What an actual joke.
Oh yeah, that's the best. Isn't that the best scandal? That admissions scandal where all these people, wasn't it Felicity Huffman or somebody who
Felicity Huffman, Lori Loughlin, Massimo, who had a Zeller's clothing line. And imagine having your kid and being like, oh, you're dumb, I'm gonna have to pay someone for this. It's I want you to be in the best school, but you can't get in there yourself because you won't get off YouTube putting on lip gloss for 16 hours a day. So now we got to pay our way in, and now they're in jail. And I'm like, now Kmart's not even going to want your clothing line. Where are you going to go, Massimo? Lori Loughlin was already filming Hallmark movies. You guys are at the end of the road here. Your kids were all you had, and now they're on Jada Pinkett's Facebook Red Table Talk. It's just an abomination. I actually can't even feel it. Never heard so many D-list things in one sentence. Literally spare me.
Yeah. Holy crap. That's hilarious. On the topic of makeup in jail, did you know this? My girlfriend was telling me she follows somebody who was, I guess, an influencer who was in jail at some point. She was talking about how they do makeup in jail. Is if they want to do an eyeliner or something like that, they find ink in a magazine that's the color that they want, and they apply deodorant to it to pull the ink off of the thing, and then they take that and they use it on their face, whatever color in the magazine, that it'll extract the ink from the paper. That's how you do makeup in jail.
I have so many questions. Why is the first one. Why are you wearing makeup in jail? For what?
Look good for the ladies. Hey.
Honestly, I don't want my boyfriend to ever hear this. I don't even put on makeup at home. Lipstick I did for you, literally. It's not for him. I did it for the network. I don't do it for him. He gets the worst version. If I was in jail, I'm like, well, that's it. Unless Kim Kardashian's saving me, what are we doing here?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess it's if people want to feel pretty in jail. This dovetails back to the earlier conversation that we had on a previous show about women buying lingerie as a gift for themselves. I'm with my ex, I'm like, you just bought that so you could feel pretty, and now you're acting like you gave me a present. Like, that's the same type of thing. It's like somebody's in jail and they just want to put up makeup and look all pretty for who? I don't know. Like the guard who's about to hit him with a baton. Like, I have no idea who you have to look good for in jail unless you're like, I don't know. In women's jail, what do you call someone's bitch? Is it still a bitch? Like a prison bitch, you know?
I don't know. I've never
like
been to jail.
Must have bitches, right? Like, is that a thing?
I don't know what happens in jail, and I don't want to know, but all I know is that if I was in jail, there's no makeup, okay? There's no makeup. I'm cool with that. Like, just, I don't know. That's so weird to me. It's good that they're reading, though. I love that they're reading.
They're trying to better themselves, you know?
Do you know how educated people come out of jail as? They come out of jail looking like scholars, or like, except for that time you murdered someone. So how about that, Stacey?
Yeah. Notice you've only been educating yourself in ways that you can research loopholes in the law to get yourself out of jail for killing someone. You're not trying to get on Jeopardy, sir. We know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, you really are reading. Yeah, it's like so stupid. Okay. Here we go. My headline. I've got some good ones this week.
Okay.
Michigan parents must pay after destroying son's $25,000 porn stash.
$25,000 porn stash. Oh my God. You know what's funny? Like, when you say porn stash, I think like, you know, those porno mustaches, like the dudes in the old school porn, like a Ron Jeremy mustache.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
so,
wow.
Here we go. Grand Haven. Okay, a federal judge has ruled a man who sued his parents for getting rid of his pornography collection in Western Michigan and can seek compensation. Federal Judge Paul Maloney ruled in favor of David this week, saying that his parents, Paul and Beth, this is the whitest thing I've ever heard, of Grand Haven, destroyed his collections of DVDs, VHS, and other pornographic materials in 2018.
Oh God, 25 grand.
What others, like MP4s? Like, what are you talking about? You already covered DVDs and VHS Blu-rays. Like what?
Yeah, like just put them on a USB thumb drive or something, you know? Like, what do you... God, this kid's like a porn archivist.
So he moved back home with his parents after a divorce and acquired $25,000 worth of pornography. And they're like, yeah, we're throwing this out. And he's like, I'm taking you to court. And they're like, you could also try to find another person, though.
Yeah, you want to talk about a rough divorce. Moves in with his parents and buys $25K worth of porn. He just gave up on women forever.
Like, and here's the best part of this, okay? He originally valued them at almost $29,000, saying some of the items were irreplaceable. Oh, he later amended the value, irreplaceable, okay? He later amended the value to $25,000. And then this is my favorite quote of the whole article. And it's a quote from his father. Frankly, David, I did you a big favor by getting rid of all the stuff for you, Working's father wrote in an email. Like, what is happening? Like, first of all, he's like, it's $29,000 worth of pornography, which is already like super insane. And then you're like, sorry, I overvalued it like it's Forbes. And $25,000. And it's just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, that's your full-time job then.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. Like, yeah, wow. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. That's, I mean, on one hand, it's like the guy's kind of right. It's like if you have 25,000 worth of porn, you have a pornography addiction. So that's kind of like if your kid's addicted to heroin and you take his heroin away. Like, I'm doing you a favor, kid. It's like, maybe you are, maybe you're prolonging your suffering. Like, it depends, right? How you look at the situation. But yeah, I guess legally he has no claim on the pornography. So I'm guessing that the ruling was that the parents had to pay him for the seized pornography.
The judge said there's no question about it. that the property belonged to him and he deserves to get that money back.
Could you imagine? Like, that is
I'm like, what is going on in Michigan, y'all? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, no kidding. This is oh god. Wow. I don't know. I don't even know where to begin, you know. It's like I feel like I'm holding one of those like comically large burgers that you see on TV, and it's like you don't know what part to bite first. Like I don't know what thing to comment on with this insane story. It's all so like there's just so much going on there. He's a 25-year-old man with a rough divorce who moved back in with his parents, spent $25,000, give or take, on pornography. They took it from him, felt that they had the authority to take it from him, took it from him, and then he sued them and won. And then they had to pay him. I wonder if he went and spent it on porn or if he learned the error of his ways and just like streamed it online on the internet like a normal person and put that towards like, I don't know, something good, you know, start an investment or, you know, like a mutual fund or something. I don't know.
Well, they have until February of next year to pay it out. Can you just imagine going to the bank and knowing that what you're pulling out is just money that you're paying back for your son's porn? Like, I don't know if I'd be able to hand it over.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know, that's crazy. And you know what else? To win that, he had to have been able to prove the purchase of all of that porn, which means he kept the receipts for $25,000 worth of pornography DVDs. Like this is the real meat on the bone here. Is like that had to be, because there had to be in discovery that had to be part of the evidence for sure for him to be able to prove the value of the porn that they took. So this kid actually kept, like he was going to put it in his taxes.
Yeah, it's tax season, baby.
yeah, you know, like the government's gonna be asking where all this money went. You know, I gotta show them my porn stash. Holy crap, that's insane.
Yeah. So if you're ever, I want to meet this guy. I like the pettiness of it is crazy. It's like, oh, your parents are trying to help you, but you're just like, no.
Yeah,
this is the life that I chose.
That's so wild.
So I don't know.
Right.
But what's your next article? I feel like it's gonna get crazier and crazier.
Yeah, I got one here. This is another lottery one, actually. This is a Missouri lottery winner lost her winning ticket for 3 weeks. So it says, a Missouri woman said she recognized the winning numbers of a $195,000 jackpot, but she couldn't find her ticket for 3 weeks. Pearl Irwin of Waynesville told Missouri lottery officials she had played her 4 sets of numbers representing family birthdays in the Show Me Cash game for about 30 years. Okay, she played the same 4 numbers for 30 years.
Wow.
But she decided to try something different for the June 25th drawing. She bought a ticket with numbers representing the upcoming ages of her grandchildren, and the winning numbers match her picks. Imagine that. You've been trying the same key for every single lock. You change it to, and then the one that you change it to just randomly hits it. Like, that's some luck right there. That lady was channeling hard. So, and it just says, the winning numbers look familiar to me, so I went home to look for my ticket. Then she soon discovered the ticket was missing, and it took some time to find it. It says, it took me 3 weeks to find my ticket, she said. The winner brought the recovered ticket to Missouri Lottery headquarters to collect her $180,000 jackpot. So this lady literally was like, I don't know where the hell her ticket was. It doesn't say where she found it.
Does it say where she found it?
It doesn't. It doesn't reveal where the ticket was. That's the end of the story. It was a little anticlimactic. But like, I guess it's kind of like that guy who lost the Bitcoin wallet that had like 3 million or something like that. It was like in a landfill somewhere, and he was like paying people to search around for this thing and like never ended up finding it. Yeah. There was some dude who had like a Bitcoin wallet where it's in cold storage, the private key for like, I forget what some money. It was like several $1 million. But this is something like that. I guess she's just looking around the house like, oh, I left that damn ticket somewhere. And like, she's literally just got like $180,000 jackpot waiting on her. 3 weeks. That's like, what a friggin' dick tease that must be. That's got to feel so crappy to know you have that kind of money and you're just like looking like you lost your car keys. Like, how frustrating.
Oh man, I found that like actually when I'm trying to search for something, like taking a deep breath and like pretending it's going to be fine is the only way that I can calm myself down, because anything else I'm like losing my mind. Like,
yeah.
the panic of it all is just too much. I need to win the lottery. I'm so overworking. Like,
I know. I used to tell myself that people remained poor by buying lottery tickets. Like, that's the reason why people don't, like, statistically speaking, I think it's what, like 60% of lottery winners, and I think pro athletes as well, go bankrupt after they become millionaires. And then yeah, so that's the thing about lottery winners. It's like the type of people who buy lottery tickets are the type of people who don't know how to manage the money once they get it, and so they end up broke at the end of it, or sometimes in debt and even worse off than before they won. So money's like a curse.
Money's like a curse. Yeah, buddy. More money, more problems. They didn't say
No
that
money,
for no
more
reason.
problems. Yeah, you give the wrong person too much money, you can kill them.
Wow. Yeah, that would happen to me for sure.
Yeah.
But I still wanted to make sure. Like, it's like I might surprise myself.
Yeah, exactly. You might. You never know. You might have it in you. You got another headline there?
Yes, I got another headline, and the picture of it's super funny, but I can't actually show it to you. Okay. But here we go. Canadian man fined for loudly singing "Everybody Dance Now."
Where was he singing it, on an airplane? Like, how do you get fined for doing that?
Oh man. Okay, so a Canadian man is contesting a ticket for screaming in a public place after being caught singing in his car.
In his car? What?
In his car. So the tune that got him grooving and in trouble was everybody with the smash hit. Everybody, smash it, gonna make you sweat. Everybody dance now. I actually did not know that it was called "Gonna Make You Sweat." I just thought it was called "Everybody Dance Now," but that's fine.
No. Yeah, like we're talking like that. Everybody dance now, like that one. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. That one. Make you sweat. I thought "Make You Sweat" was like a UB40, like "Girl, I'm gonna make you sweat." What do you? Okay, that's like two different songs.
What song is that?
I don't know. It's one of those songs. Maybe it was like a mashup of the two songs.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's called "Gonna Make You Sweat." Everybody dance now, which is news to me, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So Taufik Moala is how I think you say the name. Sorry if you ever listen to this and I butchered it. 38 years old, which is great because I just love that he's living life. Was driving near his suburban Montreal home on the 27th of September when police pulled him over. Police asked him for identification, whether he had been screaming. I said, no, I was singing. Mr. Moala told them, I was singing the refrain, "Everybody Dance Now," but it wasn't loud enough to disturb anyone. Yeah, so he literally got a ticket. They fined him, and now he has to appear in court to fight against the fact that he was singing a song in his own vehicle.
What's the name? But what's the, like, what did they put that charge as? Like, what's the law that he broke?
Screaming in public.
Screaming in public, and he was in his own car?
Yeah.
What? What was the guy's name? Was this like was this like white cops and a black guy driving type of thing? Like, what the fuck happened? Like,
I think this guy's white. Like, I honestly do.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, wow. That seems like a targeted thing. That's so strange that could actually happen. Oh my God. Wow.
And so they tried to contact Montreal police, and Montreal police said they do not comment on individual tickets handed out to the public.
Oh, Montreal, what are you guys doing? That's crazy. Like, this reminds me, I used to sing in the car. Like, I used to drive a lot, and like I was taking a road trip, but I was by myself, right? And it was like a 5-hour drive, and I'm singing at the top of my lungs. And like I always forget, it's like some Timberland, Carrie Hilson jams, and I was just like going off, like completely. I had like a karaoke thing the next week, so I was just like doing my thing, and I literally was singing for this entire car ride. I completely was committing whatever crime this guy got busted of. And then, yeah, I singing too loud, and my voice, I lost my damn voice, Tamara. I'm not kidding you. For like 5 months, I had no voice. The first time I did karaoke on a stage in front of like 100 people at this bar, I destroyed it, by the way. I did a Maroon 5 song because I could still hit certain like octaves. So I did This Love by Maroon 5 and just knocked it out with the stage presence. And the first time I did stand-up comedy, actually, ever, I had no voice. True fact.
Really?
Yep. I was like this. My voice sounded like this.
No.
Yeah. It was wild, dude. And like for 5 months, I like just busted my vocal cords right out, singing too loud in the car.
Actually, it's really funny that you mentioned that, because do you know that I don't know if I ever told you this. When I was 21, 22, 21, I had to go and learn how to speak again because I bruised my voice box and I had to relearn how to speak because I was speaking from my throat and not from my esophagus or diaphragm. Which one is it? Diaphragm. Yeah, I was not speaking from my diaphragm. So I wasn't speaking from my stomach. I was only speaking from my throat and pushing all words out through my throat.
Oh, Jesus.
And I had to go and do like intensive training to learn how to speak again. And my mom was like, great, I've raised an imbecile. So,
oh, God. That's brutal.
Yeah. Do you have another one? I have another one.
Yeah? Okay, let's hear yours.
I decided that we should probably do this classic one because it's one of my favorite articles of all time of this year. And since we're coming to a close soon on the year, I thought I'd do some of my favorite headlines, at least one of them each week up until New Year's, of like one of the favorite ones that I've done. So this one, and I'm sure you know this one, and it's the background to my phone. Please scream inside your heart. Japanese amusement park tells thrill seekers.
Please scream inside your heart.
Have you not heard this one? Oh my God.
No.
Okay.
What? Screaming? I'm already doing that.
So here we go. The Fuji-Q Highland Amusement Park near Tokyo has an unorthodox request for its roller coaster riders. Please scream inside your heart and not out loud, the park is asking. The unusual ask is meant to reduce the risk of spreading the coronavirus.
I knew this had to be a corona thing.
While some may be skeptical that it's possible to quietly ride a roller coaster, a promotional video from Fuji-Q proves that it can be done. So they take a video, people be like,
yeah.
It's insane. The video shows, in case you wanted to look this up later, the video shows two stone-faced, suit-wearing, and completely silent executives ride a Fujiyama roller coaster, the park's main attraction.
You gotta hand it to the Japanese. They're very disciplined. I figure if you could shame any like group of people into not screaming on a roller coaster, it would be in Japan. You know, like they're just, wow, that's insane that they actually managed to do that and people can contain their screams like that. It's wild.
Well, you can't, but you're just basically shaking and crying. I love it. They're just like, yeah, come have as much fun as you want, but we don't want to hear a single woo. Don't you dare scream unless it's inside of your heart. Like, please scream inside your heart is clearly a translation that like it's not translated well.
Yeah. That's like that. You ever go to that site, English.com, where it's like poorly translated, like Chinese and Japanese like signs that the English next to the writing, and it's like obviously translated by someone who doesn't speak English that well, or just like Google translated or something like that. And so it'll be like this, whatever's on the menu, like the fragrant craps, and you know, it's like describing like a sandwich or something like that.
I don't even have to go to that site. I lived in China for 3 years. I saw that firsthand. Yeah, they called all the elevators air stairs.
I like that. I prefer that. Air stairs. That's dope.
Right? It wasn't a cafeteria. It was a snacks getting room. There are just so many things. The crazy thing about like Chinese is that like they speak very literally and like right to the point about things. Like that's why when it's translated from Chinese into English, like that's the way that they talk. Like they don't say like I'm en route to go to the store now, or like I'm on my way to the store. They just say like I go store now, which is like yeah, that's all we need to know. Everything's covered.
Yeah, it's efficient. That's all the pertinent information. Really, you just cut out a lot of those extra words. We don't need any garnish on the steak. You just eat just the meat.
Right? It's like when someone's trying to break up with you and they try to like have this whole like song and dance. It's like, dude, it's just not working. How about that? You have to be like, you know what? Like, I do love all the times that we've had together. And I do love like everything that you've done for me. And I do really love you. It's like, okay, let's just break up. Like, I don't really like, I don't need this.
Yeah, don't roll out a red carpet and then sucker punch me. Like, let's just cut to the chase.
Yeah, honestly.
Wow. That's insane. I've got one here. I don't know if we got enough time for one more here.
We'll do one last one.
Yeah. Okay, so this one, I don't know what the hell to think of this. It's actually, you know what? I don't think we got enough time. We'll save this one for next week, everybody. So that's been our show today. And let me just have a look here. This show can be heard on the Barn Burner Radio Network on its 122 platforms. Please check out barnburner.ca for all the news and programming. That is Barn Burner.
Watch it.
Hear it.
Read it.
Download it.
Live it. You can find us on Instagram at Team Air for me and at Warren J Comedy for Warren. And we will see you all next week.